In the first 7 minutes on ABC 17 News at 5, there was a close call today at a construction site in Colombia. We'll explain what happened. And we are talking to victims' lawyers after the railway files a lawsuit in the deadly Amtrak crash.
And it's been a cooler first day of fall, but we're going to be tracking some chances of some showers and storms moving in Friday. Then temperatures going to return back to the near average highs.
ABC 17 News at 5 on KMIZ starts now.
A dump truck on a job site rolled over earlier this afternoon on the far west side of Columbia. This happened on City Hill Drive near Louisville Drive today. ABC 17's Ethan Hines was there to see what happened. And Ethan, someone got hurt in this crash.
That's right, Marissa. Right behind me is the hill that the man driving the dump truck rolled down earlier today. At 12:44, Columbia fire units went to a call about someone stuck in a truck on City Hill Drive. When units arrived, they saw a dump truck turned on its side with the driver still inside. Fire units were able to get the patient out within 5 to 7 minutes and quickly moved them to an ambulance to go to a hospital. The fire department says the driver only had minor injuries. According to a CFD spokesman, there was fuel leaking from the crashed vehicle, but the scene was deemed safe. Captain Ryan Adams with the Columbia Fire Department gave me advice on safely operating heavy machinery found on construction sites like the one today.
With heavy vehicles moving around loose soil and loose dirt, just make sure you have a wide enough area for egress and entrance to that area.
And today I asked the project manager of the construction site if the driver worked for them. I'm still waiting on a response. Reporting from Western Columbia, Ethan Hines, ABC 17 News.
Ethan, thank you for that. There's a new lawsuit from the railway in the Missouri Amtrak crash that left 4 people dead and more than 100 injured. The suit was filed this week in federal court from BNSF Railway against some of the passengers who were injured and the family of victims who died in the crash. Now, it claims victims who sued the company will have to arbitrate with the company, meaning that they will have to settle the dispute in private with a few attorneys and not through trial. Grant Davis, an attorney representing more than 70 victims in the Amtrak case, said the lawsuit is unconstitutional.
In the Missouri Constitution and the U.S. Constitution, you have a constitutional right to a trial by jury. They're trying to do away with that by enforcing, it's called like forced arbitration. You can't do that in all circumstances.
Now, we reached out to officials with BNSF, and they declined to comment on the lawsuit. No hearing has been set in BNSF's lawsuit at this point. Police tell us one person is now in custody after a car hits a central Columbia home. They believe alcohol was a factor in this after the suspect hit another car. Firefighters said a woman driving the other car suffered moderate to severe injuries. This happened off of Providence Road around 3 o'clock this morning. And you might remember just over a year ago, a different car also crashed into a home just 3 houses down. A suspect is now in jail accused of selling drugs to a man who overdosed. Police responded to reports of a person dead back in January off of Monterey Drive in South Columbia. A witness told police the man had recently bought meth from this guy, Sean Rogers. He was just arrested yesterday on several charges, including second-degree murder. Today's court documents claim he also had more than 11 grams of meth when he was arrested. Police in Mexico have possibly identified 2 men accused of breaking into Noble Hospital. Officers responded to an alarm just before 2 o'clock yesterday morning. Video showed the suspects breaking into the building and then taking a small amount of property. They already interviewed them. Warrants are pending. They said that there are no signs that they accessed any legal or personal information from the hospital, which you may remember that hospital actually closed back in March. MU Healthcare is making it easier to get a flu shot this year. Today it announced several drive-through clinics. They're happening on the last 4 Saturdays in October from 9 until 3. That'll be at the South Providence Medical Park. People do need to bring an insurance card if they have it. children enrolled in public schools can also get the shot for free. In case you didn't notice, it's a lot colder today. To see how long this is going to last, let's go now to ABC 17 Storm Track meteorologist Chance Gotch, who is in for Jessica tonight. Chance, I pulled out the long sleeves today.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy. Tomorrow's going to be another day where you can have the long sleeves out, but we start to head off into Saturday. You're going to have to put those away and put the short sleeves back on because we're going to see some shifting in those temperatures. Now, taking a look right now at the ABC 17 Storm Track radar, taking a look at the region, you're seeing a couple spotty showers. A lot of those aren't even making it actually down to the surface, just a dry slot in the atmosphere, so it's kind of evaporating as it goes down. But we're tracking a high-pressure system off to the north that's not going to be doing too much, but off to the top west, northwest part of the screen, you can see a low-pressure system that's going to be affecting us as we start to head off into tomorrow morning. Now, here in central Missouri, taking more of a local look at the Kansas City radar, you're seeing a couple bands, some of this making some light drizzle down at the surface, but like I said, a lot of it evaporating before it gets down to the ground level. Now, taking a look at the ABC 17 Storm Track, Future Track, going to see plenty of cloud cover throughout the overnight hours, but we head off into Friday morning. That's where we're going to start to see some chances of some scattered showers pulling back into central Missouri. Now, most of this will be confined north of Highway 70, but as we start to head off into the afternoon hours, we're going to see some more chances of some storms reappearing. Now, not going to see any threats associated with this system, just going to hear some thunder. Could see a couple strikes of lightning, but this will be pushing off as we head off early into Saturday morning. But there's a pesky warm front that's going to be pulling back through central Missouri, driving those temperatures once again into the mid-80s for the afternoon highs. Then we head off into Sunday once again. Break out those long sleeves because it's going to be a little bit cooler with an additional cold front making its way back into mid-Missouri. We're looking at overnight low tonight, 53 degrees, so still riding that cooler trend. But the next several days, we're going to see those jumps in temperature, and we're looking dry once again.
Chance, thank you. There are more reactions today to former President Trump's newest legal issues. Here's the Senate Majority Whip, Senator Dick Durbin, on Trump's latest remarks.
A top-secret classified document, literally, that could risk the lives of people who are helping the United States in its defense, could be somehow sanitized by Donald Trump just thinking about it is really ridiculous.
Tonight, ABC's Andrew Dimbert has more details about the next steps in Trump's FBI case and his new civil lawsuit.
This morning, former President Trump is defiant after he was hit with a $250 million civil lawsuit that threatens to cripple his business.
This was just a continuation of a witch hunt that began when I came down the escalator at Trump Tower.
Trump, 3 of his children, and his top executives accused of, quote, staggering fraud. He ran for president on the back of his business acumen.
I'm really rich. I'll show you that in a second.
But for 20 years, New York Attorney General Letitia James said Trump, with the help of his 3 eldest children, Don Jr., Ivanka, and Eric, grossly inflated his net worth by billions of dollars.
Claiming you have money that you do not have does not amount to the art of the deal. It's the art of the steal.
James accused the Trumps of preparing hundreds of fraudulent and misleading financial statements that overstated the value of nearly every major property they own, from golf courses to hotels to Trump's own apartment in Trump Tower. He showed it to Barbara Walters in 2015 as proof of his success.
You are a winner?
I think so. I mean,
I'm looking around. Yeah, there's a lot of gold here.
You've done pretty well.
The lawsuit said Trump valued the apartment at $327 million, a price James called absurd, alleging Trump falsely claimed it was 3 times its actual size. Trump's current home, Mar-a-Lago, the lawsuit said, is worth $75 million, but Trump valued it at nearly 10 times as much, $739 million. Based on development potential that doesn't exist. James said her investigation found more than 200 false or misleading valuations that deceived banks into lending Trump money on more favorable terms than he deserved, something she said regular people could never get away with.
It is a tale of 2 justice systems, one for everyday working people and one for the elite, the rich and the powerful.
And now the Attorney General wants Trump to pay $250 million. And while she's not seeking to dissolve the Trump organization, she is trying to permanently ban the Trumps from ever running businesses again here in New York. We spoke to an attorney for former President Trump who said she looks forward to defending him because she called the claims meritless. Aaron Katursky, ABC News, New York.
One man chose this war. One man can end it. We cannot, we will not allow President Putin to get away with it.
Here from the Secretary of Defense says protests break out over Russia.
I got a phone call that said Saudi Arabia, and I thought, I don't know anyone in Saudi Arabia.
And families are reacting after 2 Americans are released from Russia. We'll be right back.
Is the water you're drinking safe? In an ABC 17 News investigation, I'm breaking down the latest standards and digging through water reports in Jefferson City and Columbia to find out what's being done